In a previous video, I brought up the topic of the job counteroffer, when a current employer wants to revert your decision to leave. As SAP headhunters since 2005, we have encountered quite a few situations with counteroffers. Covering such a complex topic in a little more than 2 minutes is simply not possible. So here's a bit more for you to consider. The underlying, but mostly unspoken assumption upon entering a job talk is always one of good faith. It's almost like dating, it can go either way. While no outcome is guaranteed prior to any job discussion, once an employment contract has been signed, both parties are expected and legally bound to execute on their promises. Among hundreds of successful recruitment processes, I've yet to experience an employer that wouldn't or couldn't fulfill their part. The same isn't true for the new employee. In almost all cases, an accepted counteroffer can be traced back to one of two situations. 1. Either the candidate was unclear or unsure about his or her own motivation, consciously or subconsciously. Or 2, the candidate deliberately used a secured new contract to gain leverage with the current employer, which I would argue isn't in good faith. Over time, we as headhunters get better and better at spotting candidates in the latter category, gaining leverage with the current employer. Well, while you may argue that an accepted job offer or a contract is legally binding, I've yet to see an employee face any legal ramifications due to a ditched contract prior to job start. After all, it's pointless to force anyone into taking a job, at least in my view. However, this is not to say that there won't be any ramifications at all, but instead we're talking about intangibles like trustworthiness on the candidate side. Unless the candidate is in extreme demand, the candidate may now be cut off from securing a future job at that specific company. Or the hiring manager may now be hesitant, even when at a new employer in the future. I wanted to illustrate the complexity of potential outcomes when accepting a counteroffer. And maybe I'm biased. In any event, think carefully about your decisions. They may have far-reaching professional consequences. Happy decision making.